Hi folks, welcome to another episode of Washing Dishes. One of my favorite things to do in food is to take really kind of traditional rustic comfort food and make kind of a more fancy version of it.
So today we're going to do that with one of my absolute childhood favorites, the humble meatloaf. We're going to use most of the same ingredients Mom used to use. We're just going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to bacon wrap it. We're going to make it nice and smooth, and then we're going to dress it up with a really lovely sauce and serve it with some loaded mashed potatoes that I made on a live stream. I stream every Monday. I call it Meal Prep Mondays. It's over on my Twitch, link in the description. Come by and say hi. It's a lot of fun. Other than that, hang out and enjoy.
Now, one of the things that generally goes into meatloaf is a mixture of veggies. Usually some onions, carrots, celery, sometimes you'll see bell pepper, we're going to use some garlic. It's kind of whatever you like, whatever flavors you want to add. This provides some additional moisture, helps bind it. The eggs will also help bind it, and it'll just kind of add a nice flavor. We're also going to use this opportunity to add some herbs to our meatloaf, and if we were doing this for kind of a more rustic look, we would just chop this stuff up. But we want it to be nice and smooth, so I'm going to use a good old-fashioned food processor. So old-fashioned, actually, this is my mom's. First things first, let's peel our carrot.
And nothing special here, just big chunks that we can fit into the food processor.
I've got a couple of
Sticks of celery, same thing, big chunks.
and I'm going to use like half. This is a large red onion. I'm going to use half of it. Whoops. So I'm going to smash
4 cloves of garlic real quick, toss those in. And then we're going to add some herbs, sage, rosemary, and dill, just a rough chop on those. And we're just going to spin this until it's a smooth paste.
We'll just scrape this down.
There we go. Nice and smooth. This will blend in nicely.
We've got our bowl. I've got about a pound of 90% lean, 10% fat ground pork, and about a pound of 85% lean, 15% fat ground beef. If you can get fattier of either, do it. To that, we're going to add our herb and vegetable mixture. We're going to add about half a cup of panko breadcrumbs. And I'm going to start mixing this up, and then I'm going to add the egg, this last egg in. Also, I'm going to add some salt and pepper. I've done this enough times that I know how much I need to add. The first few times you do it, you're going to want to get it all mixed up, cook off just a little tiny piece of it, taste it, and then add salt and pepper to get it right. But I've done this enough that I know how much I need to add. Like, I think I've made this recipe 30 times or more. So I'm going to give it a mix. I've got everything pretty evenly distributed. So I'm going to go ahead and add that second egg. And I'm going to mix this, and I'm going to mix it pretty vigorously. You don't want to overwork it because that will make the protein strands bind up too much and you'll get kind of mealy, dry texture. But what I want to do is mix it until the meat mixture kind of starts to stick to the edge, to the outside of the bowl. We're just starting to get little bits stuck to the bowl, so I'm going to call it here on mixing and set this aside while we get our loaf pan ready with the bacon liner. I'm going to need to change gloves. Back in a flash.
And I'm just going to go ahead and line my loaf pan with some plastic wrap just up to the edges. It means I don't have to wash it as much later, and it means that the meatloaf will come out nice and easily.
I've lined my grandmother's loaf pan with some plastic wrap, and I've got about a pound of bacon here, and we're going to just start laying this in along the length, and then I'll show you how we're going to kind of weave it closed at the end. So the first piece goes in. You want to make sure that you get the pieces oriented the same way with the fat and the leaner side. I'll show you what I mean as we go. We're just going to lay that in, and since the fat side is towards me, for the next piece, I'm going to take the lean side and put it on top of the previous fat side and just overlap it a little bit.
This happened to take me about 15 pieces of bacon. Depending on the size of your loaf pan and a variety of other factors, it may take you more or less, so you might have to wing it. It's not going to be perfect, and it really doesn't have to, especially on the bottom. Alright, so the audio on this part was totally boned. Basically what I'm doing is pushing the meat in very tightly to kind of compact it all together, and then we're going to fold the bacon over and kind of use those long pieces to make sure that we've got a nice full meatloaf.
We'll lift the pan off, then we'll lift the plastic off. Tell me that is a beautiful thing, right? Beautiful bacon-wrapped meatloaf. Now,
We're going to go ahead and pop that into a cold oven set for 375. After half an hour, and now 45 minutes. Not quite ready yet, so hang on.
With our meatloaf wrapped and in the oven, it's time to make a quick sauce. You could complicate the heck out of this. I'm going to keep it pretty simple. We've got about 2 ounces of brown sugar, do about 2 ounces of ketchup, about an ounce of soy sauce, ounce of cider vinegar. I'm going to pop that on the stove, whisk it together just till the sugar melts, and then we'll have ourselves a beautiful sauce without too much trouble. It's kind of like a super simple barbecue sauce if you think about it.
So after 1 hour, we're just about at temp. I'm going to give this just another, like, 10 minutes. Oh, and I decided the sauce needed a little more vinegar, salt, and pepper, so I went ahead and threw that in. Once it reaches thick enough to coat a spoon, it's ready to go.
It's out of the oven and looking absolutely spectacular. We've got our sauce here. That's a hot pan. We've got our sauce here, and I'm just going to go ahead and spoon it over the top. And then, as usual, if you have a broiler, you can use a broiler. But I have a blowtorch, so I'm going to use my blowtorch.
And you just want enough to coat, and you just want to toast it enough that it starts to get crispy. And I decided to stay in the tight shot for the ending because I figured cutting into this is going to give us a beautiful cross-section, and you'll be able to see the plating better. So, without further ado, look at how gorgeous that is. Nice and smooth, everything's evenly distributed. We'll cut a nice thick slice, and then we'll lay out some mashed potatoes, smooth them out real nice, drizzle some sauce, and there we go.
Hey, thanks for staying till the end. I really appreciate it. If you like that, check out a couple of these other videos. They're probably up your alley too. I have a Twitch channel at twitch.tv/washinthewind. I'm on Twitter at washinthewind, and I'm on Instagram at washinthewind, but without the E, mostly because of the character limit. If you'd like to show some support, a Twitch sub or a Patreon subscription would be wonderful, but what helps the most is a like, a subscribe here, and sharing the video with your friends. I hope you've had a wonderful time enjoying the video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your time zone. Thanks very much for watching.